UNCP makes headlines, and not for good reasons.
And the menace that is human trafficking strikes close to home.
Those stories and a long-serving congressman is laid to rest.
You're watching Carolina News Today. A UNCP homecoming victory on the football field this month was marred by word of a clash with police that some tailgaters had at the start of the game. It seems a campus officer activated a pepper spray canister affecting dozens of people, some of whom had asthma, some who sought medical treatment, and some who were merely exiting the nearby Jones Center because the irritant was airborne. The Student Government Association issued a statement calling for a full investigation, saying students need to feel safe. Chancellor Cummings emailed the university community reporting that the officer has been placed on leave during the investigation. He said witnesses are being interviewed and will issue a response when the investigation concludes. A university policy says tailgating must stop, quote, promptly at game time. Witnesses told us they were minding their own business and just walking through the area, but were inadvertently affected by spray that was targeted at people who perhaps wouldn't pack up.
Earlier in the week, Chancellor Cummings announced a leadership change in his cabinet. Reporter Mason Miller tells us that the university attorney Joshua Malcolm has resigned after 12 years at his alma mater.
That's right, Abby. The Chancellor's office sent out a statement earlier this month amid Malcolm's resigning. Now, Malcolm's choice to resign comes just 2 months after TV news station WB-TV filed a lawsuit against the university. The lawsuit, filed back in August, is a product of an incomplete records request spanning over the course of several months.
Are they even open?
The records request, filed back in January by WB-TV reporter Sarah Archner, asked for all of Malcolm's emails sent from March of 2018 to January of this year. Correspondence between Nick and university officials show that the request had been accepted. However, after months of not hearing back about the request, that's when Nick and TV station WB-TV filed a complaint against the university and the chancellor. To date, the university has still not fulfilled Nick's request. After requesting an official comment from the university, a university official told me, quote, "As a matter of policy and practice, the university does not comment on personnel matters. For now, Kelvin Jacobs will be acting as interim general counsel for the university." WNCP-TV, I'm Mason Miller.
North Carolina special agents arrested a Fayetteville man in Robinson County this week on 1 count of human trafficking. 28-year-old Andrew Francisco Dow is being held at the Robinson County Detention Center on a $250,000 secured bond. In addition to the arrest, 3 human trafficking victims were identified. Members of the nonprofit organization 5 Sparrows are assisting in the victims in their recovery.
Parents in Guilford County have started a petition against changes in suspension policies in their children's schools. They're opposed to a new system that would allow for appeals. Their biggest worry, more violence.
Mark Ridgel used to patrol schools as an SRO. He's also a parent of a current Guilford County student.
And it's just not a good way of maintaining order on a school campus.
Ridgel thinks Guilford County School District's proposed suspension policies are creating a danger in the classroom. The plan includes a longer appeal process for short-term suspensions, allowing students and families to turn to the superintendent if they can't agree on a punishment with school leaders.
If the principals aren't allowed to maintain order on these campuses and have to wait for the superintendent to get involved or her designee, how is that protecting students? How is that having a safe learning environment? How is that protecting teachers?
The changes could also allow students to avoid suspension.
Because as a former SRO, I know when they're not in class, they're not up to good things. That's when things get missing, people get hurt.
It's almost like suspending, but with no help or support to try and change why this child is acting the way they're acting.
School board member Linda Welburn has to vote on that policy. She has questions she wants answered.
They want me to approve a change to a policy. Number one, I don't know the impact to the principals. I don't know if it's feasible. I don't know if we need more personnel, and I don't know if there's an additional cost.
She says discipline and immediate consequences are needed, but suspension may not be the best way to change a student's behavior.
And maybe instead of suspension, maybe we can do community service for kids that instead of suspending them, they could go through a program. Why aren't we looking for strong alternatives that work instead of focusing on reducing suspensions?
Robeson County Humane Society says they're full and can't take any more cats and dogs that need rescue. There are plenty who need to go to good homes. Here's Korea Pinckney with our Pet of the Week, and this time it's a dog we've seen before.
Hi, I'm with Marcus Locklear, the Assistant Director of the Robeson County Humane Society, and we're here to talk about a dog we've seen before, but we would really love to get her in a good home. Who are we here to talk about, Marcus?
We're talking about Dixie Belle. She is a female hound. She has been spayed. She is currently up to date on all her vaccines. She is heartworm positive. We've found her beside the road after her puppies had been hit by a car. Her adoption fee is $50. We feel that she would do best in a home if she was the only dog, because she is somewhat aggressive towards other ones that we know of. Still very sweet and very docile besides the other animal issue. She loves to play with her toys. She loves to be outside. She's very good companion. She's approximately anywhere from 55 to 60 pounds, anywhere from 2.5 years old to 3.
Okay, where can people find out more information about how to adopt Dixie Belle?
You can always find out more information on our website, the Robeson County Humane Society. You can visit our Facebook website, or you can check us on Pet Finder and see all the babies that we have up for adoption.
For Carolina News Today, I'm Korea Pinckney.
As the daylight hours are getting shorter, deer are becoming more active along the roadways. The North Carolina Department of Transportation is reminding drivers to stay alert.
And if you visit the State Fair when it wraps up this weekend, consider taking some time out to visit Safety Town. It's NCDOT now.
Welcome to NCDOT Now. I'm Carly Alexic. It's that time of year when daylight hours are shorter and more deer could be along the roadways. So the North Carolina Department of Transportation is reminding drivers to stay alert and pay attention.
Last year, there were nearly 19,000 animal-related crashes across the state. Over the past 3 years, these collisions have killed 9 people, injured about 3,000, and caused more than $146 million in damages. To keep you and your family safe, remember to slow down in posted deer crossing areas and heavily wooded areas, especially during the late afternoon or early evening. Don't swerve to avoid a collision. This could cause you to lose control or veer into oncoming traffic. And deer often travel in groups, so assume if one crosses the road in front of you, there may be others following.
Now that fall has arrived, it's time for the North Carolina State Fair.
We hope you enjoy the rides and deep-fried food, but make sure to visit Safety City in its new location near the Carr Scott building. Visited by more than 100,000 people every year, the attraction informs and engages visitors on things like the dangers of impaired driving and speeding, railroad safety, and seatbelt and child passenger protection. The fair runs through October 27th.
And that's all for this week's edition of NCDOT Now. From all of us at the North Carolina Department of Transportation, safe travels.
Democratic Maryland Representative Elijah Cummings was lying in state this week at the U.S. Capitol. He died last week at the age of 68. A memorial service was held Thursday for members of Congress. The public also had an opportunity to pay their respects. Cummings represented Maryland's 7th District over 20 years, and he was also known for his work in the civil rights movement. Former President Obama will attend and deliver remarks at his funeral this week. In Detroit, some high school students won't have to worry about paying for college. That's because Wayne State University will offer them free tuition next year. The announcement was made Wednesday.
High schoolers here in Detroit hearing a big announcement that sounds heavenly to their ears.
How about this? How about if your college tuition is free?
Wayne State University doing just that, offering up free tuition for fall and winter classes for any student living in the city of Detroit, regardless of which high school or high school type they graduate from.
Our friends in Ann Arbor, you think they're going tuition-free to Michigan? But because you're here in the city of Detroit, you graduate this spring, you can be tuition-free Wayne State Warriors a year from now. Thank you for staying in the city of Detroit.
It's not exactly all Detroit high school graduates. However, to be eligible, a student needs to be accepted to Wayne State just like any other student, must use the Raise Me app to log student success activities, and must complete the free application for federal student aid.
FAFSA application, even though it's a pain in the rear end. I can say that because I got kids who are in high school too. But all of these ways of showing your commitment are important to getting this opportunity.
Governor Roy Cooper announced the creation of an advisory council on film, television, and digital streaming this week. Cooper signed an executive order saying it will help North Carolina's film industry, which saw losses under the previous administration. He says the new advisory council will play a critical role in helping the industry flourish. In his 2019 budget proposal, he recommended modernizing the movie production grant program and tax incentives to bring more productions to the state.
Speaking of the arts, the UNCP Art Club hosted their annual sale this week outside of Locklear Hall. Art students got a chance to show their talents and sell their art to students on campus and the community. The different styles of art ranged from acrylic to traditional art. Pieces were selling for as low as $5. Art Club President Daniel Ramirez Lomos says to set his prices, he tried to keep people's budget in mind.
It's traditional media, and then, in traditional media you have to take into account of the labor you've put into it, and so I priced that a little bit more, but it's still quite affordable for a piece of art, in my opinion.
Art Club member Isaiah Hawley says he tries to have a variety of work for art lovers to choose from.
I only do portraits, but I'll do landscapes, I do abstract work, sometimes, if I would like to be more free, I'll do non-objective work.
The club decided this year they could garner more attention outside. When planning the sale, they wanted to choose a day that would have great weather. The club's goals are for students on campus and the community to come and enjoy the art displayed while learning more about it.
To come to the art sale, I'd like for them to engage with the artists. I'd like them to ask them about the thought process, about the things that go into it, the labor, strike a conversation with the artists. We love talking about our work and stuff like that,
Brave Soccer climbs up the leaderboard in the Peach Belt Conference.
And Ty the Sports Guy is on football overload when he comes back after these messages.
We may measure success differently, but our paths all start with a choice. Believe in your dreams. Believe in yourself. Dream bigger. Reach higher. Go farther. Choose quality. Opportunity. Experience. However you measure success, you can get there from here. Choose UNC Pembroke. Choose to be a brave.
Campus engagement and leadership is a team, and our mission is to provide experiences for students in a values-based and student-centered environment.
Together we are a brave nation because serving students is our passion.
We encourage students to connect with peers, faculty, staff, the campus community, and beyond.
Getting connected means identifying your interests and matching them with a multitude of opportunities here at UNC Pembroke.
Engaged students never stop learning.
Being engaged means celebrating the culture of campus through personal and group exploration.
Leadership at UNC Pembroke is about creating a legacy that will leave both the campus and the community better than you found it.
Leading means working with others in a supportive community to create positive change.
Connect to opportunities, engage in exploration, and lead your community.
Together, we are changing lives through education.
Hey guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I bring the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius, and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb.
But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
What's going on, Brave Nation? Welcome back to another jam-packed week of Brave Sports. I'm Ty, the Sports Guy. It's good to be back. CNT was on fall break, but student athletes got no rest. In Brave soccer, a home matchup against Lander University this week resulted in a win. Only one goal was scored during the game, in the 34th minute by Alexis Pittman. With her 5th goal of the season, she helps propel the Braves' record to 10-3, which puts them 3rd in Peach Belt Conference. Their next game is Saturday against Georgia Southwestern at home. Volleyball had a match against Flagler College, but things didn't turn out in our favor. Flagler had a total of 46 kills with only 11 errors, while also hitting 34% at the net. For the Braves, Ashley Caesar came away with 10 kills and 2 blocks, and Raven Oates walked away with 9 kills and 1 block. Flagler swept the Braves in straight sets, putting the Braves at 11-14 and 0-4 in PBC. Volleyball's next matchup will be against Augusta today on their home court. Braves Wrestling makes their first appearance of the season by having the annual Black and Gold Inter-Squad matchups, a team scrimmage where friends and family come out to see what the team will be looking like this season and a chance for the athletes to show off their skills. After finishing their season last year with a record of 7-5 and finishing 2nd in the NCAA Super Region 2 tournament, the men's wrestling team are hoping to keep the momentum going and make improvements as the season goes on. The team's first official matchup will be against Emmanuel at the Georgia Open on November 2nd at 9 a.m. Over homecoming weekend, Braves football went up against Mars Hill University in a close game. Coming off a 2-game losing streak, the Braves had to come back home looking for a victory. First quarter, on the second play of the drive, quarterback Josh Jones finds Marcus McDonald with a flea flicker pass, resulting in a Braves touchdown. The first in the game, the second quarter, the Lions score with a pass that resulted in a 26-yard touchdown, giving them the lead 19-14. They try for a 2-point conversion, but the pass is incomplete. Third quarter, with the score tied up at 29, Josh Jones finds Trey Dixon in the middle of the field for an 11-yard touchdown run, giving the lead back to the Braves, making the score 29-36. Braves in the red zone, Josh Jones hands it off to Josh Sheridan, who puts it through for the touchdown. With 1 second left, defensive lineman Tariq King sacks the Lions quarterback, sealing a win for the Braves. Final score, UNCP 36, Mars Hill 29. After the game, Coach Richardson said the players were just in the right mental state for this game.
I think just wanting to win the game, wanting to get back on track. We were coming off 2 games in a row losing, and so I think just in general, I think guys were just really excited for it being our homecoming game and just being able to break the cycle, so to speak.
And Dominique Davis said he thought the team has nowhere to go but up.
I still feel like we ain't reached our peak yet. We just got to keep going, staying focused, just staying disciplined. That's really the number one thing, just staying disciplined, because we got a young group. These guys are good. They're great. We just got to keep breaking the potential. That's how we got to keep going.
But then the Braves faced off against Wingate during our break. First score of the game for Wingate with a quarterback sneak into the end zone. Then Wingate is able to regain possession of the ball and connects on a 30-yard pass in the middle of the field, leading to a 40-yard touchdown run. The score, 14-0 Wingate. The Braves were able to put up some points with this 5-yard touchdown run from Josh Sheridan. The extra point after from Hunter Braswell was good. Wingate regains possession of the ball and pulls off a nice trick play with a run right up the middle of the field for a touchdown. Score 42-10 Wingate. Then the play of the night comes from this kick return from Devin Jones, who catches the ball at one end zone, finds an opening in the middle of the field, and takes off for a career-long 100-yard touchdown run. This marks his 3rd career kickoff return for a touchdown. The score 42-17 Wingate. Carrying on that momentum, the Braves were able to make a defensive stop on a blocked punt by Sam Vines, picking up the ball in the end zone to add extra points to the score. After one last touchdown effort from the Braves, they came up just short, with Wingate walking away with the victory 48-38. Football's next game is this weekend against Tusculum. Whiteville High School welcomed Red Springs for their homecoming night. Both teams had the same record and both were undefeated in conference play. First quarter and the first drive of the game, Ty Moss takes the snap, fakes right, then cuts back left and is able to turn it into a big gain, setting himself up for a 2-yard touchdown run. Wolfpack leads 7-0. Red Springs gains possession and answers back as Denham McKenneth drops back and is unable to find anyone, then takes off for a huge gain before being shoved out of bounds. This gives T. Graham the opportunity to even the score as he shifts his way into the outside and crosses the goal line. From then on, the Red Devils kept the momentum going and would score 3 straight touchdowns. The Red Devils are at the goal line again. The Wolfpack almost stops them, but the Red Devils plow their way through the touchdown. Red Springs would take over the Wolfpack homecoming night and win 28-13. Thanks to alumnus Bryant Reed for that footage from Whiteville. Okay, that's all for me. Next week, I'll tell you about cross country's first ever home tournament. I'm Ty the Sports Guy. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Ty. It looks like they'll have fairly decent weather Saturday for the home meet at Luther Britt Park. 80 degrees, but partly cloudy.
Sounds good. Well, we're out of here. I'm Abigail Brown.
And I'm Emmy Shalila, and we'll see you next week.